All right, my friends, we're back again. Dynamic Man Podcast, episode 70. Female romantics versus opportunists. We're going to get going with this right now. Let me just copy. We're going to go way super fast on this one. I got client calls in 10 minutes. So let's get right to it. All right, guys, this is a good one. Inspired by Illimitable Man, who's back on Twitter. Liminal Man and I had like a little bit of beef, just a little bit, back in the days with Rollo. But I think a lot of it was just kind of, minor ego misunderstanding. I don't even know if he knows who I am. He was a big account a long time ago, and I'm glad to see him back. To be honest, he's a smart guy, and we're gonna be talking about one of his tweets, and I want to riff off of it a little bit because there's some profound stuff in here, but also I want to extrapolate, make it a little bit useful in a different way for you guys. So let me just check, make sure everything's going well. The stream on X. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's been problems with the streaming right now on X. StreamYard is even talking about this. So I have to do everything manually to make sure that you guys get to see it. So that's what he said. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not a woman. I can offer you a woman's perspective from internal modeling of the smartest, wisest women I've known. Okay, so average women look for successful men because they're primarily searching for providers. This makes sense. But a quality woman does not look for success or the full package, but a man who possesses a rare spirit, intellect, and character that makes him not only more human, but quite paradoxically also more divine to her. She trusts the essence of who he is fundamentally good and valuable. It is this which she is obsessed with and fundamentally drawn to. She will build with him because she wants to invest in him, and she wants to build with him because in building with him, she binds him to her in a way that no other woman could compete with. Only one woman can be part of his becoming, and she will ensure she is it. She knows she could never bind a rich man in the same way because she was not part of his becoming. He is too corrupted by his optionality to ever appreciate her in that way, so he cannot internalize her in the same way. Even if he is genuine, he would not be spoiling her with the fruits of their shared labor, but with the accumulated capital of a life led pre her. He has probably lavished women before. There is a disconnect, no shared struggle in becoming. This is very important. You don't have to believe me, but there are women who deliberately and categorically call them anti-gold diggers, if you will, who avoid rich men because they don't trust them and are vigilant as to how wealth corrupts them. They know he will try to buy her and bribe her, and only a lowly woman could ever be for sale. So the attempt fundamentally undermines the purity of the love achievable. The internet will tell you it's all about money and only money matters. And if you don't have money, you're worthless as a man. This is only really a half truth in the sense that if you're an average person, it is mostly your lived experience. It is for all intents and purposes true for you. Get your money up, broke boy, blah, 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 etc. If it isn't, you're an outlier. Third worlder, dog eat dog, survive at all costs. We cannot afford morality, so we use the scam people for money mindset. And shallow 100 IQ ladder climbing normie mindset do not apply to outliers. They operate differently. She will evaluate the texture of your fucking soul. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. And by the way, hello, Brian. Clearwater, beautiful place, my friend. Beautiful place. Good to have you here. Still snowing in Poland. All right. Here's what I want to say. This is how wise and smart women operate, but it's more than just a wise and a smart woman. It is a woman who is a romantic at heart, but is a woman who has a certain kind of energy and quality to herself as well. Okay? What I want to be clear about here, like these women, we've called these women, we've been less specific, but these are women who are known in some ways as investors. Now, I think even the term investor doesn't do them quite justice, because you can see here, it's not that they're just like giga smart and they want to catch a guy before he blows up. There are some women like that who are just, they're maybe opportunists, but they're very smart opportunists. I don't even know if it's fair to call them opportunists. They're just investors, right? They see a guy has potential. But what I want to be clear is that very few women who do that are doing it because they see that this guy is going to become super powerful, and they won him. Very few. There's this very minuscule number of women. They exist, but they're just not normal. They're not common. This type of woman that we were describing right here, this romantic, very, very different story. Very, very different story. Now, I'm not saying these women are common either, but they're more common because these are women who genuinely genuinely have they love. They want to merge with a man. And I think that these women are most connected to, the deeper feminine nature, which is an amplification of a man, right? They're not simply looking to extract resources out of him. I don't want to make it seem like these women don't care about providing or resources or anything. They expect this, but they believe in the man in question. And so they become part of his growth process. This is not what we talk about when we typically describe muses, because muses are often considered to be a distant figure, a figure that, you can't get per se, but like inspires you. There's different definitions of muse. But to some extent, this is a muse in that she is helping you to become what you are meant to be. She's expanding your potential. I talk about this a lot. This is like the reason I love this tweet so much is because this is like gets to the crux of what being a dynamic man is. What when we're talking about meeting a dynamic woman, building a dynamic marriage, like everything I talk about in the masterclass. The masterclass is becoming a dynamic man, meaning attracting a dynamic woman, vetting and choosing a dynamic wife, deepening, keeping a dynamic marriage, living and building a dynamic life. Like everything, it's from the same perspective of consciousness expansion, amplification, alchemical union. I'm not just trying to use like stupid buzzwords. I mean this like very, very sincerely and passionately. It is a different way of operating. Your average man is not going to like my material because your average man wants an average life. And your average man is frustrated at the state of the world today because you can't just put money up. If you put money up for a girl, you're basically getting a whore today. That's where things have moved, right? This is where it's like in the past, a lot of the average guys are frustrated because in the past you could be a provider, you could earn a salary, a woman doesn't work, so you're good enough. But there was never any development to that relationship. There was never anything profound or special about it. I don't know how these relationships are going to do. You have to have something special within you, a spark within you, and the woman that you are going to be drawn to has to have something similar. And I'll just tell you, like, this is my relationship with my wife. She frustrates me sometimes. I frustrate her sometimes. We challenge each other. But we also grow. We grow through this relationship. It's a very, very profound alchemical relationship, very karmic. And she literally did, she got with me at the ground level. I hadn't even started my business yet. Okay. She's been with me through a lot of different things. And if we were not to be together, I don't want to say that I wouldn't, be interested in other women, but it's very hard for me to fathom how a woman could possibly ever play the same role. Like it would be like a much more superficial dynamic. I don't mean even that it would be superficial itself. It just would be less special. It would be less special because who you are when you are in the stage of becoming as a man, if a woman is there for you with that, she's always going to earn a special place in your heart, and she impacts and transforms you in a certain way. It's harder for a woman to do that later on. That's part of the reason why it's such a tragedy when you see women kind of putting off the romantic stuff till later on in life, because it makes it much harder for them to have this impact on a man. I think maybe Melania Trump was able to do it to a small extent with Donald Trump because she had something that was different. than the other women around him, right? She wasn't as sold on him. I think from what I understand about their courtship, she actually was one of these women who rejected him. She rejected him. He had to like work to get her on dates. She didn't want to go on a date with him. I think that's what intrigued him. So anyway, look for these women. Look for the women who want you and see something in you when you haven't materialized it yet. And even if you have materialized some things already, look for the women who see more, who help you who still can see blind spots that you have. Maybe you've been successful, in your career, but there's another blind spot in your life with health that she sees. Look for the women who see your blind spots. They're the best women. They're the keepers. Jackson, really quick. This Poland is from Poland, Maine. Poland Springs is, I believe, a Maine water. I don't think Poland has any. We have Chisovianka. It's not for export. All right, guys. Love you all. See you tomorrow. Take care. Usual time tomorrow, okay? 10:30 a.m. See you guys.